there is a silent paradox that defines the human condition, a contradiction we live with every single day of our lives. Yet it is so quiet, so woven into the fabric of our existence, that we rarely stop to notice its architecture. We are creatures obsessed with freedom, yet we are the jailers of our own minds. We grieve over people who have walked out of our lives, leaving behind only the echo of their footsteps. We mourn opportunities that dissolved into the ether years ago. We weep for versions of ourselves that no longer exist and perhaps never truly existed at all. We walk through this world carrying an invisible architecture of pain. We carry the crushing weight of regret, the sharp, metallic sting of betrayal, and the dull, persistent ache of words we can never take back, words that hang in the air of our memory, suspended in time, unchangeable and unforgiving. And yet, if we dare to look closely, if we summon the courage to look past the surface of our emotions and stare directly into the machinery of our suffering, we might begin to see something strange, something deeply unsettling, something that, if understood correctly, could shatter the chains we have forged for ourselves. The tragedy is not that we lose things. The tragedy is that we suffer from losing things that were never truly ours to begin with. This is not a philosophical trick. This is not an attempt to dismiss your pain or minimize the valleys of darkness you have walked through. Your pain is real. The betrayal was real. The loss was visceral. To deny that would be to deny your humanity. This is, instead, an invitation to look deeper than you ever have before. It is an invitation to understand the physics of attachment, to understand why we hold on so tightly until our knuckles turn white, why letting go feels like a death, and what might be waiting for us on the other side of that terrifying surrender. Because here is the truth that changes everything. It is not that life is cruel. It is not that the universe is conspiring to break your heart. It is that we have been seeing the world through a fractured lens from the very start. We have mistaken the map for the territory. We have mistaken the rental for the ownership. You have heard the advice 1,000 times. It has become a clutch, worn smooth like a stone in a river. Just let it go. People say it with such ease, with such casual confidence, as if the mind is a simple mechanical device and all you need to do is flip a switch. As if letting go of a decade of heartbreak is as simple as opening your hand and releasing a red balloon into the blue sky. You are told to decide, and in that decision, you will be free. But you know, in the quiet desperation of your own heart, that it does not work like that. If it were that simple, we would all be enlightened. You have tried. You have stood in front of the mirror and commanded yourself to move on. You have pushed the thoughts away with the brute force of your will. You have distracted yourself with 12-hour workdays, with the numbing glow of screens, with loud music, with shallow conversations, with anything that might keep the ghosts at bay. And maybe it works for a while. The noise drowns out the signal. But then comes the silence. In a quiet moment, in the dead center of the night when the world is asleep, or when a certain song plays on the radio that smells like a specific summer 10 years ago, it all comes flooding back. The dam breaks. The pain returns, fresh as the day it was inflicted. The anger burns with the same heat. The regret tastes just as bitter. This is the paradox we must solve. We desperately want to let go. We know intellectually that the burden is destroying us. But something primitive, something deep in the marrow of our bones, keeps holding on. And we do not understand why. The reason we fail is that we are trying to let go the wrong way. We are using the wrong tools for a delicate operation. When most people think of letting go, they view it as an act of will, an act of aggression against their own memory. You try to excise the thought like a tumor. You simply choose not to care anymore. You force yourself to forget. You tell yourself it doesn't matter over and over again until the words lose their meaning. But this is not letting go. This is suppression. This is emotional violence disguised as healing. And the laws of psychology are clear. What is suppressed does not disappear. It merely goes underground. It retreats into the shadow. It waits in the basement of your subconscious, doing push-ups. And when it resurfaces, as it always does, it comes back stronger, more distorted, and more uncontrollable than before. The Buddha, in his profound examination of the human mind, understood this mechanism with surgical precision. In his ancient teachings, the word used for letting go is pāyanasagga. It translates to relinquishment, release, giving back. But this release is not an action you force upon yourself. It is not a command. It is the natural, inedible result of seeing reality clearly. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, when describing the cessation of suffering, the Buddha used a particular, cascading sequence of words: relinquishment, letting go, release, non-clinging. In Palasigo, Pāyanasagga, Muddy, and Leo, these are not four separate steps on a ladder. They are one single, fluid movement, the movement that happens automatically when wisdom arises. Just as you would instantly drop a burning coal the moment you realized was burning your hand, you naturally drop your attachment the moment you truly see it for what it is. True letting go doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from seeing more clearly. It is a byproduct of vision, and seeing clearly requires cultivation, the gradual, patient training of the heart and mind through ethical living, through the stillness of meditation, and through the piercing light of insight. So, if you have tried to let go and failed, realize this: there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You have simply been given the wrong instructions. You have been trying to drop the coal while keeping your eyes closed. But before we can understand how to let go, we must perform an autopsy on our attachment. We must understand why we hold on. In the same teaching, the Buddha pointed to the origin of suffering. What he identified was not external circumstances. He did not blame the person who cheated on you. He did not blame the economy or the government or the inevitability of death. What he pointed it to was something much closer, something intimate. He called it Taṇhā, craving, the thirst, the deep, often unconscious demand that reality be different than it is. This craving is the engine of our misery. It comes in three distinct forms: craving for sensual pleasures, craving for existence to be someone, to last forever, and craving for non-existence, to escape, to annihilate oneself. We crave to have, we crave to be, and we crave to disappear. And all of this craving, this constant, desperate grasping, is the root of our suffering. But we must ask the deeper question: why do we crave? Why do we hold on so tightly to things that are, by their very nature, smoke and mist? Perhaps it is because we are terrified of the alternative. We believe that if we let go of our story, we will lose something essential. We fear we will lose a part of ourselves. We have become so identified with what we hold with our memories, our grievances, our scars, our meticulously constructed image of who we should be that we cannot imagine existing without them. We define ourselves by what we have lost. I am the one who was betrayed. I am the one who failed. Without the betrayal, without the failure, who are you? The silence that follows that question is what scares us the most. And yet there is a question worth sitting with, a question that cuts through the noise of identity. In the Alagadpama Sutta, the Buddha posed it directly to his monks: is there any possession that you could take hold of that would be permanent, everlasting, eternal, not subject to change? Do you see any such possession? And the monks, trained in observing reality, answered no. Venerable sir, look at your life, look at the physical universe. Everything changes. It is the only law that never bends. People changes. The cells in their bodies replace themselves. Their minds rewire, their personalities shift like sand dunes in the wind. You changes. You are not the same person who walked into this room an hour ago. Circumstances shift like the tides. The person who hurt you 10 years ago is not the same person they were then. That version of them is dead, preserved only in your memory. The person you were when you made that terrible mistake is not the person you are now. So what exactly are we holding on to? We are holding on to ghosts. We are holding on to an illusion, the illusion of permanence, the illusion of ownership, the illusion that if we just grip the water tightly enough, we can stop the river of time from flowing. We are fighting a war against the fundamental nature of reality, and it is a war we are destined to lose. There are things we carry that no one can see. If we walked around carrying physical boulders on our backs, people would offer to help. They would see our struggle. But the weight of what lives in the mind is invisible. It is the weight of what we replay again and again in the quiet hours when no one is watching. If someone were to ask you right now, in this moment of radical honesty, what are you carrying? What would you say? Perhaps there is a word that was spoken to you years ago, a single sentence. Someone said something that cut deep, a casual cruelty, or a calculated insult. They may have forgotten it by the next day. They may not even remember your name anymore. They are out there, living their lives, completely unburdened. But you remember. You remember the exact tone of their voice, the specific frequency of their disdain. You remember the look on their face, the lighting in the room, the way your stomach dropped like a stone. And even now, years later, when you think of it, your body reacts. You feel the same tightness in your chest, the same flush of heat. You are keeping the moment alive, feeding it with your own life force. Perhaps there is a mistake you made, something you did, or said, or failed to do. The path not taken, the kindness not shown. And though time has passed, though the situation is long over and the dust has settled, you cannot seem to forgive yourself. You replay it in your mind, searching for a different ending. If only I had. Well, why didn't I? How many times have you whispered those words to the ceiling in the dark? You are putting yourself on trial every night, playing the role of the judge, the jury, and the executioner for a crime that has already been adjudicated by time. Perhaps there is someone you argued with last year, and that argument was never resolved. You haven't spoken since. The silence has grown thick and hard between you. You were both waiting for the other to break, waiting for the apology, waiting for the admission of guilt. And while you wait, you carry the heavy, suffocating weight of that silence. The anger, the hurt, the stubborn, egoic sense of being right. Being right is a heavy burden to carry. Perhaps there are regrets that want fade a relationship that fell apart, an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. You think about what might have been. You construct elaborate fantasies of a parallel life where things went differently. You mourn a future that never happened. Or perhaps there is a version of yourself that you have never managed to become. A successful self, a confident self, a fearless self. And every time you look at your actual life, at the flawed, human person you actually are, you feel the gap. You carry the weight of your own expectations like a shadow that darkens every accomplishment. All of these things, they have no shape. They have no mass that can be measured on a scale. And yet they are heavy. Heavier, perhaps, than anything you could hold in your hands. They curve the spine of the soul. The Buddha saw this clearly. In the Dhammapada, one of the most beloved collections of his verses, he spoke directly about the corrosive nature of resentment. He said, "He abused me, he struck me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. He abused me, he struck me, he defeated me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbor such thoughts still their hatred." Notice carefully what is being pointed to here. The Buddha is not gaslighting you. He is not saying the abuse didn't happen. He is not saying the wrong was not real. He is not saying you shouldn't have been hurt. But he is pointing to something more subtle, something mechanical. The one who holds onto the hatred is the one who suffers from it. When you are angry at someone, ask yourself, where does that anger live? It lives in your body. It courses through your veins. It raises your blood pressure. The other person might be sleeping peacefully right now. They might be laughing with friends, eating a good meal, completely unaware of the fire burning inside you. And while they go on, untouched, you are the one lying awake at night, replaying the wound, drinking the poison, and expecting them to die. Who is being burned here? The grudge does not hurt the one it is held against. It hurts the one who holds it. It is a sword you grasp by the blade. And what about the regret, the self-blame? Who is being punished by that? Think about it carefully. The person who made that mistake in the past, are they even the same person you are now? Biologically, psychologically, experientially, you are different. You have changed since then. You have grown. You have suffered. You have learned things you didn't know before. And yet you keep punishing yourself as if you are still that same person, frozen in that moment of failure. You are punishing someone who no longer exists. And the one serving the sentence is the you of right now. It is a miscarriage of justice happening inside your own mind. So how do we let go? This is the question that brings people to temples, to therapists, to libraries, to videos like this one. We have all asked it. How do I move on? How do I stop hurting? How do I free myself from the gravity of what happened? And the answer, from the perspective of deep wisdom, is perhaps not what we expect. The Buddha did not teach, try harder to forget. He did not teach, force yourself to stop caring. What he taught was see clearly. Not push away, not deny, but see. Look directly at what you are holding. Bring it into the light. Understand its nature. And in that understanding, the grip begins to loosen, not because you willed it, but because you saw the truth. So let us look. Let us perform the experiment right now. That event you keep replaying in your mind, where is it now? Look for it in the room you are sitting in. Is it under the chair? Is it behind the door? No, it is nowhere. Look carefully, it has already passed. It has dissolved. What remains is not the event, but the story you keep telling yourself about it. The narrative, the interpretation, the commentary. And every time you remember, you do not just recall like a computer accessing a file. You relive. You reconstruct the neural pathways. You recreate the pain right here, right now. You bring what has passed into the present and experience it again as if it were still happening. But it is not still happening. It is a hallucination. It is only the mind running the same program, playing the same scratched recording. In the Bhattacharya Sutta, the Buddha taught, do not run after the past. Do not place your hopes in the future. The past has been left behind. The future has not yet come. Whatever phenomenon is present, see it clearly right there. This is not an instruction to pretend that what happened did not matter. It is an invitation to see where our suffering actually lives. All we have is this moment. The past is a memory hue, the future is a fantasy. Reality only exists here, and in this moment, we have agency. We can choose whether to keep feeding the old story, pouring gasoline on the fire, or to let it rest. To let the fire burn out for lack of fuel. But here, we must be careful. There is an important truth that should not be overlooked, or we risk falling into nihilism. While the event itself has passed, the traces of our actions and mental habits can still bear fruit in the present. This is the teaching of karma, cause and effect. So when we speak of letting go, we are not denying that consequences exist. If you broke a vase yesterday, letting go doesn't unbreak the vase. What we are recognizing is this: the event has passed. The vase is broken. The story you tell yourself about it, I am clumsy, I am worthless, I always ruin everything, that is what continues the suffering. The pain you feel now is being caused by the present moment activity of remembering, replaying, and refusing to release. The event has done its job. It has happened. It has taught you what it had to teach. What remains is only your relationship to the memory, and that you can change. You can change the relationship without changing the past. There is a contemplation that can help bring this into sharp, terrifying, beautiful focus. It is the contemplation of mortality. In the Abhidharma Sutta, the Buddha taught the 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to age. I have not gone beyond aging. I am of the nature to sicken. I have not gone beyond sickness. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond dying. All that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. I am the owner of my actions. These are not morbid thoughts. In a culture obsessed with youth and denial, they seem dark. But in truth, they are clarifying. They are the light that burns away the trivial. 50 years from now, where will we be? 100 years from now, who will remember any of this? The arguments that seem so vital today. The grievances you are nursing like a precious child. The resentments you hold against your parents, your ex-lovers, your boss. Who will care about them when everyone involved is dust? When you truly feel the weight of impermanence, when you realize that your time here is a brief spark in an infinite darkness, something shifts. The scale of your problems adjusts. The things that seem so important begin to feel lighter. The ego's demand for justice feels less urgent than the heart's need for peace. And here, we must address one more massive misunderstanding. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean getting lobotomized. It does not mean saying that what happened was okay. It does not mean accepting that wrong is right. You can remember something without being imprisoned by it. You can acknowledge that someone treated you badly without carrying hatred for them in your heart. You can learn from the fire without carrying the ashes. What then is letting go? Letting go is simply this: stopping the past from controlling the present. It is cutting the puppet strings. The Dhammapada puts it beautifully, formulating an eternal law of social physics. Hatred is never ended by hatred. By non-hatred alone is it ended. This is an eternal truth. And again, overcome anger by non-anger. Overcome evil by good. Overcome the miser by giving. Overcome the liar by truth. You do not let go because the other person has earned it. They may never earn it. They may never apologize. They may go to their grave thinking they were right. You do not let go because what happened was acceptable. You let go because carrying the weight is exhausting, and this suffering is not necessary. You let go because you value your own peace more than you value your grievance. You let go because freedom is possible, not someday, but now. We always think we have more time. We live under the delusion of an infinite calendar. Time to heal, time to forgive, time to have that conversation, time to finally live more lightly. Someday, we say. Later, when things calm down, when I am ready. But here is the truth that the Buddha kept returning to. The alarm clock he kept ringing. We do not know how much time we have. In the Satipatthana Sutta, when describing the contemplation of the body, the practitioner is instructed to reflect this body. 2. Is of such a nature. Will become like that, cannot escape that fate. This body will age. This body will get sick. This body will die. When we really allow this truth to land, not as a philosophical concept, but as a felt reality in the gut, it changes everything. Because if we truly understood that we might not have tomorrow, will we spend today carrying yesterday's burdens? Would we waste our last precious hours stewing in anger? How much longer do you want to hold on to this heavy stone? How many more nights do you want to lose to the ghosts of the past? How many more years will you let old wounds dictate how you live, how you love, how you show up in the world? If not now, when? This is the urgency that the teachings point to. Not a frantic, fearful urgency, but a clear-eyed recognition that this life is precious, fragile, and brief. We do not have forever to figure this out. The clock is ticking. And when we do begin to let go even just a little, even just loosening the finger by a fraction, something remarkable happens. We often fear that if we let go, we will be left with nothing. But what remains when the grip loosens is not emptiness. It is not loss. What remains is space, vast, open, luminous space, space to breathe, space to feel, space to actually be present with what is here, rather than constantly being pulled back into the gravity well of what is gone. There is a verse in the Dhammapada that captures this state of being. Happy indeed we live, without hatred among those who hate. Among those who hate, we live free from hatred. This is not describing a superhuman achievement. It is not describing a god on a mountain. It is describing a natural state, the state of a heart that is not burdened by what it refuses to release. It is the factory setting of the human spirit. When you are not carrying grudges, you are lighter, physically lighter. When you are not replaying old hurts, you have energy, tremendous energy available for what is present. When you are not punishing yourself for past mistakes, you can actually learn from them and grow. You can metabolize the experience and turn it into wisdom. This is the freedom of those who let go. Not the freedom of never having been hurt, but the freedom of no longer being controlled by what has passed. The freedom to choose, in each moment, how you want to respond to life. Time by itself does not heal anything. That is a myth. Time just passes. Time creates dust. The wounds we carry do not automatically close simply because the calendar turns. Healing comes from something else. It comes from intention. It comes from understanding the nature of what we hold. It comes from the quiet, courageous act of choosing again and again, 1,000 times a day, to put down what no longer needs to be carried. You do not have to become a different person to do this. You do not have to erase your past or pretend it didn't shape you. You just have to loosen your grip. Just a little. Just enough to notice that you are still here without the story. Still breathing without the grudge. Still standing without the weight. And when you finally put it down, when you finally let your hands rest, you realize something that might surprise you. You realize that the thing you were holding on to was never keeping you safe. It was only keeping you stuck, and you realize that you are still whole, still complete, still free, not because you were never wounded, but because the wound is not who you are. And the burden was never yours to carry forever.